Oh, how we doing, everybody? Welcome to another week, another edition of Barn Burner. It is Boomer and Pinder and Warner here on a glorious Monday, the final week of October. In a week from now, it'll be November, if you can believe it.
I mean, not really, but close. Yes.
Are we excited for November? Are we pumped for it?
We're getting some winter, aren't we?
Yeah,
nothing bad ever happens in November, so yeah, let's do it.
Let's go. Let's get it going. Let's just get there. Busy show today. Frank Seravalli. I believe now, in fairness, I have not touched base.
What is the nature of touching base with Frank? Is it just if something's not going to go, do you need to talk to him, or is it every week we need to clarify that he is coming on?
That's what I feel we're at. And now he's started his other show. You want to just roll the dice? See if he shows up? Roll the dice.
I'd like to have him.
I can tell you this. He will or he won't be on today's show.
Thank you, Rhett.
One last clip to do today. Here's one.
There you have it.
I heard it here first.
Frank Seravalli going to be on the show today. I'm going to go with that. A huge Pinder Report. I've been warned. I've been bracing for a Pinder Report of the ages coming.
You know what it is? It's just there's a lot of time that passes between Friday's show and this morning. And I don't think I put much in there, but it's 3 days of me dumping stupid shit into Jack's lap. And he's archiving it all. And I got there today. I'm like, oh my God. Like we have like 10 idiotic kickers. You're going to love it, Rhett.
Looking forward to it. Always
idiot kickers. Mike Vanderjets, right?
Idiot. My drunk idiot kicker.
Idiot kicker.
As well, a little this day in history for McLeod Law. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to, it's kind of a salute. It's the generous guy. A generous guy out there for Crown Royal. Crown everything. That's right. The generous guy.
I love what you did with that bottle.
Yeah, it looks good, eh? I said to Rhett last night, if there was a game that probably I needed to drink, it was last night's game.
Surprised that's not half empty.
But then it won't look quite the same. But luckily, I do have another Crown Royal bottle downstairs. Reserves. There's always some stashed away somewhere. We'll get to it. The Flames wrap up their road trip in Detroit yesterday. The road trip that finishes 1-3-1.
Who had 3 points? Did anyone pick 3? Oof.
I can't remember if I said 3.
No, you said 6. I said 6. Dean said
5. Wins.
And it was right there for them, fellas. It was fucking there for them. You got a 2-0 lead in Washington. You got a Columbus team that we don't think is very good. You didn't have to beat Detroit. You didn't have to beat Pittsburgh. I mean, fuck.
And they didn't. In fairness, they didn't.
No, they sure didn't.
They didn't beat them. Now looking back, probably had to beat them if they wanted to get to 5 or 6.
Well, it was, you know what? The nice thing about it is it was a great new coach, some new staff members early in the season. Get on the road, do some bonding, come home with some victories and some stories. Let's get that ball rolling in the right direction. So
yeah, now that you've seen the crew, you can lock everyone up into long-term deals and ride this thing out into the sunset for the next 8 years.
Yeah. More on that coming up. Flames lose by a score of 6-2 in Detroit against the Wings team that looked pretty good yesterday.
They
look really good all year, Dino.
Yeah, they looked our first up close viewing of the Detroit Red Wings. It seems like there's some speed and some spill and some care and some youth and
finally some defense there. That's what they've been missing.
They've got some stuff. There. They had a day yesterday against the Calgary Flames. It was 1-0 on the first shot of the game, and then shortly after it was 2-0, and they just continued to roll. Alex DeBrincat seems like a fine addition for Stevie Y and the Red Wings. What did they give up for him? What was the
less than what Ottawa gave up for him a year prior, Dean? Considerably. Pierre Dorion makes hockey decisions.
Guy can score.
Still, yeah. It was almost like you were selling a 40-goal guy, not a 25-goal guy. Maybe a 50-goal guy, to be fair.
Under the right circumstances, yeah.
It looks like the right circumstances in Michigan. Yeah, it's close to home, and he's still scoring.
Where do we want to start, man? Do we want to start with the goaltending? Do we want to start with the line combinations? Do we want to start with the defenseman who wasn't playing?
It starts with goaltending. Everything starts with goaltending.
All right.
So let's
start with a crown. Like, honestly, this is quite the shit list we've got to get through today, isn't it?
Well,
all those things. Like, where's the good news here?
Dan Vladar.
Oh. That ain't it.
Nope.
6 on 30 including, as I mentioned, 1-on-1 and then 2-on-5 and so on. We wanted to see Vladar, so careful what you wish for, I guess.
Yeah.
I did like him in the Buffalo game, and I didn't like him last night. There's certain goals by Detroit, but some stops you need to have if you're hoping to have a victory on the last game of your 5-game, 10-day road swing.
Yeah, Markey was really good too, and he had a day there in between. It felt like a natural for Vladar to get into one of the 2 back-to-backs, and the other natural spot felt like Washington, but it sounded like he wasn't quite 100, whether it was a stomach bug or something. And so
some sniffles going around.
Yeah, and so that changes your plans. But damn it, the more you felt like you needed that Detroit game, I thought the more you'd see Markstrom go. And really,
well, we talked about this last night. Then you just fall into that same trap of, well, he's our better goaltender. We better play him more and play him all the time. And I don't.
Yeah,
we got to win. We need a win here. We need to win. We can't afford to put in our backup and maybe lose one here. So you start Markstrom, and then when Markstrom's playing really well, you can't take him out of the net because he's playing so well. So you start Markstrom. Anyway, it's Dan Vladar. I feel like we're treading into Yoni Ortio territory.
Oh,
can't lose this guy. This guy's great. The league, everybody would love. Teams would be jumping all over this guy, and then eventually you put him on waivers and take some. Well, what do we? I mean, the point I'm making is Flames fans and we pump him up as this goaltender. Tampa Bay would love to have this guy. LA should be trading for this guy. This guy, it's a value contract. This guy's good. Is he?
Not for 2 games, but there's a bigger sample than that. I think what
how
people
big
like
is the
about
sample
him,
where he's being
not
good?
Huge. Here's what I'll say: a lot of tools that teams like. There's a lot of similarities to what he is and what we've seen with guys like Samsonov and Vanacek, where they're kind of just mad guys and show up in other situations and play really well. They gave up a third for him. They've had really attractive offers for him over the last couple of years. Not this summer when the market collapsed a bit, and the numbers aren't great, which is weird because the appeal for his skills is great, but the data is not. Nothing about his numbers in Calgary say he's great, but he's the type of goalie guys dream on because he's huge, and when he looks good, he looks really good. It's just he doesn't look that this year.
So there's a lot of. So if I put a suit on, I look sharp, but I'm still stupid.
No, I just mean like the whole 6'6", 6'7", like when he is locked in, you're like, Jesus, this guy looks. You remember the first 2 months of his first season here?
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, this is something here.
And then they couldn't play him because they needed wins. And
I also remember the Calgary
year, and that
was the Calgary Tower. He was tall.
Remember him? But I just don't want to put him in the same category as those guys because those guys never really even became NHL backups, right?
Yeah,
I'm starting to wonder.
I'm just. The point I'm making is maybe it's possible that we've built him up to be potentially more than he is. It's not been a very good start for sure to the season.
Yeah.
And
no one's going to fight you on that, Dino. It hasn't been a good 2 games. No, tell me about the lateral chances the Flames are allowing defensively. How about switching to a new D system? How's that going, fellas? Because Markstrom's been spectacular and his numbers are still no good. So that tells me the environment's dog shit.
I thought that we said last year the D was okay.
I thought this D core, this was to dream on. The other NHL teams,
man,
Ryan, were loving
their
this
top
D.
4, but like, tell me how that new system's going. Guys are left open in front all the time. Christ. You're seeing it with the Oilers too. It's like, oh, Vegas won the cup. Let's do what they do. Maybe that's good for their personnel. Maybe that's how you coach. You get the system best for your personnel. I'm not saying that isn't for this group, but this is not a perfected defensive system, clearly at this point. And I don't like it.
Like, what with this defensive system? So are you seeing a drastic change? You're seeing a difference in how they're playing?
I don't even mean what I'm seeing in terms of the Chancellor. It's just that they went to change how they played and what defensive responsibilities were around the net, and they look leakier than they did last year. So with the same personnel.
You can tell me that they're implementing some new system. It looks the same to me. It does not. I don't see anything revolutionary. I don't see anything that's drastically different. I see last year's group and yesterday without one of their best in Rasmus Anderson, which doesn't help, obviously.
No, not at all. And again, like, boy, if you had Shillington, that wouldn't hurt, but you don't. And there's no certainty that you'll ever see him again in a day or a month or a year. But I just wonder about, like, I guess it's a small tweak, but it's what the Oilers are doing, and they don't look good defensively. It's the whole D-man don't follow your forward up to the point if he goes there. You got to hand off to the centers, and it feels like a system that needs a lot of communication, cohesiveness, and Vegas has been working with it forever. Of course, it looked good when they won the Cup.
Okay. Well, how long do we have to put up with not criticizing?
I don't know. How long would it take you? I mean, you've played
last week.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think. How many practices they had? How much did you go over it in training camp? Like,
are you in the NHL?
They're all in the NHL.
Come on.
And these forward groups against them definitely look like they're in the NHL.
To me, sure. Okay. We're early on and we'll give Vladar some time. It's only a small sample this year. Okay. He's going to get better. The D is learning a new system. Okay. We'll give him some time. Defense is hard work and commitment to getting the job done. Like, it just is. And there's too many times where they're soft as puppy poo. Yeah. And that's a lot of how they played last year. And my concern for all of it is the similarities between last year and this year are staggeringly consistent.
The biggest issue I see is that the two guys that they bet big on in the forward group have been two of their worst forwards, and that's Huberdeau and Kadri. And people are going to say, if that goal counted, he's a point per game. Watch. He's a turnover machine. He's awful defensively.
It's not
he's
impactful.
Yeah, no, he's not a game breaker at all. And it's like, not even the power play can run through him effectively. They went 1 for 19 on the man advantage on the road trip. Like, any sort of, like, and we'll get Frank on at some point because he was buying the bounce back big, and it's early, but if you just look at the points, like, oh, look, he's back. No, he ain't. He's the same unimpactful player that you've assigned way too much cap to for this year plus 7 more.
Jack, could you bring up, and before you play it, I just want, if you can bring up this, because we have the second DeBrincat goal from yesterday, the one that made it was their 4th goal of the game. But before you play it, if you can just bring it up so we can establish who is on the ice here. And they did this a lot. This was not turnovers. It was turnovers at different parts of the trip. It was just either transition off turnovers or just them rushing the puck with skill and speed. So let it go for a little bit there. Howie Meeker here. Let it go a little bit here. Now you can see there's Huberdeau behind. So Huberdeau's just out of the screen, I believe, here.
It's a stick you're seeing. There he is.
Yeah. So this is Huberdeau just about at the top of the circles, I believe, here. So you can let it go.
For those of you not listening.
Yeah, I know it's
playing in the offensive zone.
Anyway, so here comes Huberdeau. He's in the middle of your screen, and then he's right beside DeBrincat. But what is he doing?
Watching.
Yeah, he doesn't think of his man. He seems to think there's 3 of us already. I don't need to back check.
So now that we've all seen it, just if you can play it one more time, you teach your kids that, Rhett. Look at him. He's at center ice, and he does not take a stride.
Now pause it there. Hang on. Is he thinking there's 3 guys closer to my net than me already? I'm the 4th man back. None of these are my responsibility. Or is that just a cop out because you're close to that guy in the left wing?
It's lazy and not committed to winning.
I'd agree that. Yeah.
No strides. Still hasn't taken.
He didn't even look. He stared at the puck the whole time. He didn't
from center ice. He stopped skating.
Where's the last stride?
No, where is it?
Blue line.
The front of the logo.
This is a $10 million player.
I mean, no.
Take that away.
Yes.
This is one of your this is a veteran. And I said it yesterday. I don't want to, I'm trying to be fair. And then he turned the puck over on the 3rd goal that DeBrincat.
He turns it over all night. He's a turnover machine.
Listen, different guys are held to different standards for different areas of the ice, let's say. You can only be allowed to play that way if you're outstanding on the power play and a threat to score every time you're on the ice.
Draisaitl can do that, and he has for many seasons.
Exactly.
No one else without that production can do it. I'm sorry.
That's right. So I don't like it anyway because I think everyone should try to play the same standard, but you can get away with being soft in your D zone if you're an absolute monster offensively. You're not. And I think when you watch some of these other teams with their high-end skill, they're all impactful and make a difference.
Yep.
In a game-to-game basis, period to period, they get out there and they're a threat, and we don't have that.
There's no top end on this team, fellas. Nope. If you need a goal, like who can you write down in ink for 30? Nobody.
No one.
No, like 25 even? Who's a guarantee for 25?
The guy who has 6 NHL games under his belt is your biggest scoring threat.
And the guy standing on your fourth lines outplayed your $17.5 million double down combo.
The fourth line gave you the most yesterday.
If you're confused with like, oh geez, Sharon Govas must be playing well. He's like he's in the same box as Kadri and Huberdeau right now, and that is not a good look for those two guys.
That line, they shuffled the lines up. You come off of a loss, and Kadri, Huberdeau, and Dube were put together, each of them finishing -4. For those of you that care about plus minus, some of you don't, but when it's -4,
you better care.
It's telling you a little bit of something.
Yeah, we got better stats and plus minus in the Pinder Report, and it's the same story. It's one of the things that Daryl did last year is he put these cats together because they both seem to almost just drag down the line they're on. They're not making people better around them. It's even worse. It's like it's to the detriment of the people who play with them. So Daryl's like, all right, I'm putting these assholes together, and like Huska's already there. We're a week in. Like we're 7 games in, 6 games in.
You bring up the coaches because I brought up the boom last night on Afterburner. Where's Huska's head? And hear me out. New coach, all positive. We're gonna have fun. We're changing the mood. The dark cloud has left the building. We are a positive group, and we want to hear the players' voices, and we want to take their input and use it to our advantage and make them feel blah blah blah. Huska knows he can't be a hard ass because that's what they just got rid of and quit on. Now what? Like, when's Huska get to a point where it's like, well, I gotta bring the hammer down. I have to let him know it's not acceptable. How do you? And then all of a sudden, oh, it's Mr. Negative. I can't play for this guy. He's too negative. He's not. Huska is now in a shitty spot, and I don't know what he's going to do about it.
Well, to be fair, it's a first-time head coach. It's a first-time NHL GM. It's a first-time NHL guy running a power play that went at 10% on the road trip. Like, there's not a lot of job experience you can lean on that's similar to this. We like all these people. We want them to do well, but what can they lean on at this point? It's tough.
Yeah. If you're a rookie head coach, how do you finesse this? I believe they're practicing today. This is not an off day for the team. It's get to the rink, and we got to get some work in because you play tomorrow, 7:45 weird start against the Rangers. Then
it's
St.
the 32
Louis.
Teams in one day,
and then
red zone thing. So it's a 7:40 start. Sorry, go ahead.
And then the Oilers. So you've got 3 games coming up this week. Not a lot of time to get any work done. And they look like a team that needs a lot of work. They need to work on some things for sure.
It definitely looks like a team that needs to practice. And again, like even if you do practice and play well with great systems and you get good goaltending, it's 2-2 in the third. Like who can you look at and be like, that's the line that's going to go out and score me a winner?
Power plays to do that in Washington.
Power play was dog shit the whole road trip. I'm sorry. 1 for 18, 1 for 19. Oh.
And again, with the defensive scheme changing and with Savvy coming in and probably trying different stuff on the power play, and it's early in the season, we have so many built-in excuses, except that all these effing guys are NHL players that have played the game at the NHL level. Pretty much all of them. Who? Coronado? Is the only
Coronado's your rookie,
right? Like, so, tough road trip early in the year. It's hard to get some. What are you talking about?
Not a tough road trip. Sorry.
No, easy road trip.
2 of your 5 teams played the day before you played them, and you were rested. Detroit was playing the second half of back-to-back. Pittsburgh was playing second half of back-to-back. You blow leads in 2 of them, including against that team in the third period that played the night before, and including 2-0 in Washington where you played keep away
and I couldn't get the lead. Horseshit.
Your power play was dreadful. Your penalty kill's good, but it feels like smoke and mirrors because guys are missing empty nets, goaltenders are making great saves, and guys are blocking shots like crazy. Like, I'm sorry, if they keep penalty killing like this, it ain't the best penalty kill in the league.
And like you said,
you played 2 fucking backups on the road trip. It wasn't even like you got everyone's best. And none of these teams made the playoffs last year. Maybe
your
one or
penalty
2
kill
teams this year.
against teams like Columbus or whoever. You weren't playing the elite. And you're going to have to at some point. I believe that's how the schedule works. You're going
There's
to
going
have
to be a road trip where they have all playoff teams, Dean. This was none from last year.
So I said this to Rhett last night. Everything turns around. They're going to play some good hockey. They're going to go on some good stretches here.
Yeah.
How does it start? Is it just simply, Markstrom has to steal? Well, no matter how
because
all teams do. All teams find a way to play better.
Even the worst teams end up with 70 some points. Yeah, there's lots of wins for bad teams out there.
So I'll tell you what it does, though. When do you do this? Was it 5 games, 10 games, 15? I don't know where you start to do your assessment, but through 5 games, it doesn't feel like a playoff team.
Yeah, they're 1 game under. It's just that it started with a win, and that was a long time ago. And the other win, Buffalo gave you one. So it's not an inspiring start. Winnipeg was their best game in a weird way, and they got outclassed in that game.
And going back to your Huberto, well, he's almost a point of game. The eye test. There has to be some eye test, right?
Well, the only test that he looks okay by is if you just look at counting stats.
And I'm not talking just Huberto. I'm talking the team as far as making the playoffs. Where's the eye test that says, oh, yeah, I see it. It's just bubbling under the surface, couple bad bounces, couple unlucky. You know what I mean? Like, they're not passing the stink test for me.
To me, if there's one thing that turns it around, Dean, it's you got to sort out your own zone. Like they're just giving the puck away all night. Like if you could be a stout defensive club, I could see it with Markstrom. And maybe you're the Islanders and you don't have an offensive guy, but you do it by committee. But if you're going to be loose defensively, you're screwed.
I just don't see the buy-in. You're right. I don't think you're wrong in your assessment and what
if it's going to happen. That's how, in my opinion.
Yeah. I just don't see the buy-in. And you would have thought that with all the changes over this, the management changes specifically in the coaching, that all of this bullshit that we heard we're pumped. This is going to be great. Happiest team. That it should be obvious that there's buy-in on this. And I is it? Not for me. I don't see buy-in defensively, whether it's a new scheme or not.
Yeah.
Shoot that. Anyway, down the negative train we go.
Well, and look, if you find a way to get 2 points against the Rangers tomorrow night, we'll be talking very glowingly about this hockey club on Wednesday because the Rangers are legit. The Rangers have one of the best goalies in the league who happens to be bad against Calgary for whatever reason, and Shesterkin. The Rangers are deep, and that would be a quality 2 points. But they're going to be huge dogs in that game.
Yes.
And rightfully so. So if you go ahead and win that, we'll come in and talk glowingly about you. This isn't us saying that, drop the axe, the season's over. It's just what you've shown us through 6 games is an incredibly mediocre body of work here, fellas.
Yes, no question. And the thing of it is, like you said, that game against Winnipeg, Markstrom, in a way, stole them 2 points. He was terrific.
And then again, early against Pittsburgh, he was really good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you look at the road trip. If you take now, they did. So I don't want to, but Buffalo goalie wasn't great. They scored 4 in that Buffalo game.
Scored 5. They only counted 4.
2 against Pittsburgh. Outside of that, 2 against Pittsburgh, 2 against Washington, 1 in Columbus, and 2 in Detroit. 2 goals a night is.
It would also be interesting, Dean, because you're right. It's low scoring. It would be interesting to see how those goals are being scored. Like
against or for?
4. How are we scoring? Like, is it muck? I think it's muck. I think a lot of it's around the net, rebounds. And I'm not criticizing it, but I'm just saying you can't sell that there's high-end talent if you're not seeing high-end skill plays. And we aren't. It's like you saw Detroit make some real nice plays last night. That's right. And it's fine. I'm just saying, if you went back and searched out all the goals they scored, how many are, well, man, what a nice goal that is.
Mm-hmm.
Coronado's power play goal in the first game of the road trip probably ends the road trip as the nicest goal.
Probably does.
Zips it like sing shelf power play.
Sharon Govich wires that one yesterday, but you feel like that's probably from far enough out regardless of how hard it's shot. That's probably a shot an NHL goalie stops. We'll get to our boy here. Well, I'll tell you about the Hearing Loss Clinic, making a positive difference in the lives of people's their clients, people in the city, people around them. That was the goal when the Hearing Loss Clinic launched years ago, and they continue to do just that. 4 Calgary locations, soon to be 5, plus 5 in British Columbia, Cranbrook, Creston, Fernie, Golden, and Invermere. If you feel you're having issues with your hearing, visit one of these locations, get an assessment done. It might be something, it might be nothing. Either way, you will leave knowing that you have been treated by the best. Hearingloss.ca, locally owned and operated. And truly, if there is something that you may not even know it. With your vision, you can know if something's blurry. If something's not feeling right in your body, you'll know it. With vision or with hearing, you may not even know that you're suffering from some form of hearing loss. Hearingloss.ca is the website. Get in and have an assessment done today. We'll get to our NHL Insider, brought to you by TELUS. Enter to win one of 6 monthly prizes, including tickets to Calgary hockey games and awesome tech like AirPods, Apple Watches, and more. No purchase necessary. All you have to do is fill out a quick survey to enter. Your chance to win awaits. TELUS.com/Flames contest is the website to go and check that out. On the Insider Hotline, our NHL Insider, Frank Seravalli, joins us. Frank, how are we doing? Philadelphia, what a town. Anything going on in Philly these days?
Nah, just the 6-1 Philadelphia Eagles and I don't know, the Philadelphia Phillies punching their ticket to the World Series tonight.
Are you calling that? They're heavy favorites, I saw. Minus 185.
I was a little late joining the show. I wasn't planning on going this evening, 5 p.m. first pitch. My old man just rung me up on the phone. He said, "Hey, I got 2 tickets. You
How
in?"
good is that,
Dad? Elite.
Salvatore.
What's that?
Better than going with your wife or no?
That was actually pretty fun.
Okay.
A few parking lot beverages. I brought some shooters. It was good.
Yeah, of course.
You guys, I don't know if it's a thing there in Canada. You guys have Rumpelmans?
No.
Do a couple Rumpelmans shots. A little tastes like mouthwash on the way in. It's perfect.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see why it'd be popular.
Oh,
Yeah, it sounds really good.
It's actually Everclear, so it's great.
Oh.
Good and good for you then.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You only need like 2 gallons of milk thistle after.
We are things are not as rosy here.
You know it's bad when everyone is speechless after you say that.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
No, things are great in Philly. The football team, well, I don't know what the hockey team's doing, but the football team looks good. Big win. Baseball, not as rosy here. Now the Stampeders did get a big win on the weekend. But the Flames return home. Team. They return home from a road trip on which they went 1-3-1 against predominantly non-playoff teams. They were beaten by Columbus. They were beaten by Detroit. Now, those are 2 different things. I kind of think Detroit's got something in the works there, but they look a little bit lost. This has not been a flip the switch transition for the new coach, the new GM, this new team. Now, only when you look at the roster, it's much the same. So maybe we're foolish to think that the results were going to be much the same, because we sit here lamenting the lack of scoring, too many scoring chances. Dan Vladar was not very good yesterday, and it feels like it's getting late early here in Calgary, Frankie boy.
Yeah, and that's not even what they're saying in Edmonton, which, I was curious. I didn't really connect the dot on this until you had mentioned 1-3-1. And I realized that the Oilers are 1-3-1 overall this season. Rhett, I'm curious your take on this. Is there any chance that both of these teams pretty dramatically changing what their defensive zone play looks like could have any correlation or impact on what this start has looked like? Or do you think in this case it's unrelated?
It could be related. The problem is that for me, defense comes down to just working your ass off a lot of times. And I know they've all talked that, we're using a different system. I don't notice what the different system is. If you don't back check hard, is that a system related issue? If you're too blind to take a guy in front of the net, is that a systems related issue, or is that just poor defensive play? I don't because I took maybe too much pride on the defensive side of things. I don't cut a lot of slack for guys or teams that don't play well defensively, because again, I think it's less about systems and more about effort.
So has the effort been lacking in your mind to this point?
That I said it 5, 10, 15 minutes ago last night. They're not passing the smell test for me, Frankie. They're you can watch and you can squint and say, well, this maybe if this changes or this changes early road trip, they don't get started off. Well, it's like, well, this is a veteran team. They've been on road trips before. This isn't a bunch of kids that are going into new arenas and kind of awed by the moment, right? This is a group of guys that got rid of the dark cloud that was apparently holding them back and have yet to impress me, other than I think the first period against Washington, they were phenomenal. But there's been the odd period where they've been fine. But for most of the season, it's been very reminiscent of last year's play. Not engaged, not bought in, and not winning at all costs. They're the easy way out.
Probably not a good sign, because I was going to say, we talked about how last year everything that could go wrong did. And it was like, well, if you just got some buy-in, commitment, and effort, you could make up those 3 points right there. And there have been other sort of bright spots to start this year, things that you didn't really have last year. Markstrom has been a little bit better, for instance. Things like that you think would take care of some of the ills that this team experienced, and you're just not really getting right now.
The worst, Frank, is that you were betting on bounce backs from Kadri and Huberdeau, and they look as bad or worse than last year in many instances. I don't know that Kadri can be effective anymore. Like, it's 33. And Huberdeau's turned over the puck like crazy and was never good defensively and is playing soft. It's the same. There's points there, but they're pretty hollow.
Is it all hollow though? Like, because I watched Huberdeau last week. I guess it would be to start the trip in Pittsburgh, and it looked like he had maybe his best game as a Flame.
He's trying to pass the puck on an empty net. It hits the goalie and goes in. And then he has 3 turnovers in the first 2 minutes of that game where he does score the opener. I didn't like it.
Okay.
And I know you got 32 teams to follow, and this is sort of the micro of overreacting to every team, but there looks nothing to be different about his game at this point. And they've already taken him away from Lindholm and put him back with Kadri, which is where Darryl had him, because it seems like neither of those guys are going to be game breakers. You may as well put them on their own line if they can't give Lindholm someone who might work better with them.
Right, and try and spread it around.
Well, look, I mean, they're not game breakers. So get them off the line that's supposed to be your top line. They ain't that.
Look, the bottom line is, when you're paying those guys to be that game breaker and you're not, it's not going to end well for you. That's just, look at your cap table, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you that.
I keep trying to think, how do you get out of this if you're Connie? Because I think there's a lot of pressure to be competitive in the short term. There doesn't seem to be an appetite for like a 5-year plan or a rebuild, at least at this juncture. The only way I can see it is they're actually going to be spending on these two guys less than the Stars have been spending on Seguin and Ben for a while. And I keep coming back to that. The problem is that there's no Robertson, Hintz, Heiskanen here.
Yeah, and that's a pretty big problem. You throw in an Ottinger there too, and it's a heck of a young core to have sort of transition out from your Ben Seguin era. Look, I think it's still early. I don't want to, sound like I'm, too easy on the Flames as a grader to start the year. I understand that you look at this road trip and you say, look, not really a lot of playoff teams that you're running into to start the year. Some of them have improved. I'm not making excuses. We're 6 games in, and the Flames have played exactly 1 home game. Like, before we draw any lines that, are in Sharpie, let's make sure we know what we're talking about.
Yeah. And you know what? If it wasn't so eerily reminiscent of a year ago, I think the tone would be different.
Totally.
But because it just looks so similar. The one thing I'll say, Markstrom has been better, and Andrew Mangiapane gets another goal yesterday. One way or the other, he's scoring. He's looking like a guy who's prepared to bounce back. But outside of that, it does look like this is going to be a goal challenged hockey club that's giving up a little bit too much. And they started a stretch without Rasmus Andersson, 4 games for his hit against Patrick Laine. Your thoughts, I guess, on the hit? I think we could probably all agree what the hit is, but on the 4-game sentence that was given to Andersson, which he is appealing.
I think it was totally warranted. I think you look at the hit and there's so many different layers of it that I don't like. I don't like the angle that he goes in. I don't like the speed with which he goes in, leaving his feet. I don't like the principal point of contact. And I think more than all of that, I really don't like the situation. And Rhett's probably, snickering, going, oh, this is so soft in today's NHL. But down 2 goals late in the game, this is pure emotions get the best of you. And I'm going to take my frustration out on you. And that can't cut it anymore in today's NHL. You have to be smarter. You have to be more composed. And if you think that this is maybe worth 3 games instead of 4, I'd argue that we're splitting hairs. That's certainly what the Calgary Flames are going to argue. They're going to want him to be in the lineup for the Heritage Classic on Sunday, and I get it. I just feel like this hit, pound for pound, was worth every bit of 4 games. I doubt it would have gone much longer, but when I saw the ruling come down, I would just kind of like nodded. I was like, yep, that makes sense to me.
So is this the dirtiest hit we've seen in a year and a half? Because this is the largest suspension handed out for a hit in a year and a half.
I think
that's where I'm kind of like, I think I've seen this a lot in the last 20 years where it's 1 or 2. And I don't disagree. I think if it was the first period of the game, maybe they knock one off, but it's 1 second left. So he's not missing any time against Columbus.
Well, yeah, I mean, they say, by the way, that has nothing to do with it. The idea of like penalty served. I disagree. I'm with you on that. I just think it was senseless. There was not much thought put into this other than I'm going to maim someone in the last, minute of a game that's out of hand. And in saying that, like, let's park the hit part for a second. The whole idea that you're going to appeal this and be successful when it's going to the commissioner's desk is like utterly absurd. I personally think that the Flames are, and this is not necessarily on Calgary or the NHLPA or any, I think the process itself is broken. And I think they're hoping against hope that the commissioner is suddenly going to part ways with his Department of Player Safety that works for him and say, no, you guys screwed this up big time. Your process is off and I'm going to reduce it by a game. I think that's a little bit far-fetched.
Maybe if anything, you're the PA pointing out how silly it is that arbitration hearings will be appealed to the commissioner. This is like an NFL scenario. Like you gave this up in CBA and it probably looks dumb.
Well, that's an issue that you take up with the NHLPA directly. Like shame on the NHLPA for the last time around in collective bargaining, not saying, hey, all appeals immediately go to a neutral independent arbitrator. What's the harm in that? Not only that, but we're going to have some expediency. It's going to be within 24 hours, the hearing's held. And then another 24 hours after that, we're going to get a ruling on that appeal. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever it might be, upheld or not, it's going to happen and it's going to happen quick. But now look at the timeline.
Yeah.
Hit on Friday night. The suspension comes Saturday. Appeal comes Sunday. Already misses the first game due to suspension. Now you've got games Tuesday and Thursday, and the hearing is going to be held today. And then the commissioner is going to rule on it. And who knows how long that'll take? Is it 24 hours? Is it 48? Do we not know by Thursday? Whatever the case is.
He's ruled on it already.
Well, that's kind of my point, is the fact that it's even going to him tells you how broken the process is, let alone how long it takes to actually get there.
It was a shitty hit and he should have been suspended, and it is what it is. You leave it at that. I understand why the Flames want to get it lowered, but sometimes you just have to take it, right?
Remember when the wide dog got 20 games and they like knocked it down to 10, but he'd already served like 13?
Yeah, but that was all for getting the money back. That it was like we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars that are coming back in Dennis Weidman's pocket, which is the reason why you do it. And I was just thinking, Boom, like if you just like said exactly whatever was like in Rhett's mind, do you think we could boil the show down to 9 minutes? Like we don't need like an hour and a half. It's just like shitty hit, move on.
Yeah, Flames lose.
No effort. All right,
Flames lose to Detroit 6-2. Thoughts? They were no good,
guys.
Rasmus Anderson suspended for 4 games. Thoughts?
I had a great thought. I had one last night, and I reiterated it today. It's open for the discussions amongst you 3 fine gentlemen. What does Ryan Huska do at the moment? Because my thoughts were, you get rid of a hard ass like Sutter. He knows that he can't go in there banging his fist and kicking cans and has to approach this delicately. How do you handle this with efforts that just don't cut it or results?
Look at what Pascal Vincent's done in Columbus. Damon Severson, you just signed a $48 million, $50 million contract. 3rd game with the team. You can sit the 3rd period, sir, for your pizza that you served up the middle of the ice against the Detroit Red Wings. Look, Ken Johnson, 40-point scorer last year. You are sitting on opening night. This is something in his toolbox that I don't think you have to turn around and say, oh, this guy is an unreasonable asshole. He's too hard on us. You have to use the levers and mechanisms that are in place. My guess is that what he's going to continue to preach is process over everything. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I wouldn't be opposed if it really is an effort issue, which you're watching it a lot more closely than I am because I have eyes on all these other teams. If you're saying that's an issue, you've got to be able to use some of that to leverage more out of your players.
I think it's probably oversimplifying to say, oh, Darryl was hard, so this guy can't be hard too. I think it was more that Darryl wasn't being fair or that Darryl wasn't being transparent. Like it was more nuanced than just he's hard. I don't think Ryan Huska can't be hard just because Darryl was.
Yeah, I don't think it's this simple formula of you take bad cop and replace him with good cop and all of a sudden that equals team is good. That's not how it works, and no one is ever all black or all white in terms of trying to figure all that out.
And I bet for Huska, it's not even a situation where can I rip these guys? It's very strategic. What if we lose the next 3 games? What if we win? What do I do today? Do I go in and act like nothing happened? Do I tear a strip off of them? Do I say nothing? And like you say, Frank, do I just start to take away ice time? Because I think if you're the assistant coach turned head coach, it can work. But I think a lot of times guys try and puff their chest out. I'm a head coach. This is how I have to portray myself now. And then you come in with you just act different and you treat people different. The guys will be looking at you as, wait, this isn't you. What are you trying to do? They're not going to be fooled. And I think if Huska comes in and, like you say, Red starts kicking cans, guys are going to be, really, Husk? This isn't you. For him, it's probably going to be walk softly, carry a big stick. And the stick is probably ice time, power play time, responsibilities. It's probably all he's got.
And be fair about it, right, Dean? Like to say, here's why you're sitting. And if you have issues with that, we'll watch film together.
I don't know Ryan Huska that well. Spent 15, 20 minutes with him in training camp to start the year and asked him specifically about making that transition from assistant to head coach. I don't see any of those issues popping up that you're talking about. Someone that's going to try and be something that they're not and puff their chest. That's none of that. I don't even think enters his thought process or vocabulary. It's not that. I don't think that's the way he's wired. But watching all this, like you have to have some system, some form of accountability that pushes back when you see things that you don't like. And it doesn't need to be nasty. You don't need to yell and scream. It's just a very simple, hey, we're professionals here and you made a mistake or you've made this same mistake 5 times. Now you need to take a seat next to me.
Is there no concern? Okay, then you're right. Take the ice. But I feel like there was ice taken away last year and they quit on a guy.
Kind of felt like he rolled more than he took away ice, to be fair, Rhett. Like it was just, you're 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the order, roll them. It wasn't like There was a lot of Huberdeau didn't play the third.
Either way, I would say that there is a handful of players in that room that quit on a coach and didn't like his style, and that's fine and good. But if they start to not like this coach because they're not playing, what makes you believe that they're not going to quit on him?
I think that it was easier for the team to turn on Daryl for how Daryl treated the team. I think, they had more time with Daryl, right? It was 2.5 years of Daryl, and you played for the guy, Retro. You would know. There's the Sutter vice is that's a little bit different. When he is hard on you, I feel like that's probably, there's not many coaches in today's game that are going to be that hard on you. I know what the point you're making is that it's less about the coach and it's more about the guys, and you have to glad hand these guys. Those players, and again, I guess, is it Backlund now because he's the captain? Someone's got to grab a hold of the room and just say, listen, coach be damned. Do we care about each other in this room? Do we want to win? We're not in February where a season is lost. We control this. We had a shitty kind of a road trip, but as Frank said, we've played one home game. Let's come out and be better against the Rangers. Let's be better. Let's dig in here.
Let's settle in.
I still don't know if it just, like you say, right? It doesn't pass the smell test. It just feels like it's a collection of players. It's not a team to me.
That's one of the unwritten, things that was not talked about nearly enough. I mean, we talked about it at some point in January or February when Nazem Kadri called them out and said, we will make the playoffs if we play like a team.
All-Star break, yeah.
That was, to me, the defining quote of the season.
And then he proceeded to be one of their worst players, Frank, the rest of the way.
Well, and multiple guys, including him, ended up quitting toward the end. And there were certainly some unacceptable efforts. But that part of it, you can change out the coach, you can change out the system, you can change out whatever it is that you want. But if there's no cohesion, if there's no chemistry, if they don't like each other and want to do well for each other, I don't know that any of that's going to matter. The collection of talent, it's a collection of individuals.
And what's interesting is over the weekend, we hear the suggestion circulates that maybe Noah Hanifin and the team might be interested in getting a deal. I think the Flames have been interested in getting a deal done, but maybe Hanifin would want to come back. And then you watch this type of a performance, you're like, you're bringing back more of these guys. You want to lock into more of them where, on its own merit, I would be very okay with Noah Hanifin signing a contract extension. He's still young enough. You can sign a 6 to 8 year deal. I don't worry about him.
It's yeah.
But then you worry about having another guy to a big ticket that's aging. If you could wipe those other two out, yes, get Hanifin done. Get it done today. But I wonder, do you worry at all about keeping more characters from this team while we critique them harshly on one hand and then talk about signing them to long-term deals in the next?
I mean, I'm with you, and I would say you're a couple contract extensions away from being the New York Islanders.
Yeah, if not worse.
A team that is totally locked in term-wise and dollar-wise to the same core from here until the foreseeable future, where you already are on the outside of the playoffs looking in, or you just squeak in and you don't really have any hope to vault yourself into the contender or threat category, that, you're hoping, wishing, and praying that you can somehow have the stars align in any given season that will help get you there. And that part, I think, certainly is a real concern and would have to be something that the Flames are thinking about, which is why, look, I'm not here to offer advice, but if I were sitting in the chair, I'd say we need to have a little bit of a contract moratorium here, because let's back it up for a second and let's go back to June when Craig Conroy took over and Noah Hanifin more or less says to the Flames in not so direct words, but the overall thought process was, I don't want to play in Canada. Last time I checked, Calgary's still in Alberta. What happened here that allowed you to suddenly say, you know what, I'm in? And whether it's, the next 1 year, 5 years, 7 years, whatever the extension ends up being, you are still playing for a team that's based in Canada. Is that feeling going to grow? Is it going to have you suddenly settled in? You're like, oh, hey, I'm good. I'm committed for the long term. I mean, last time I checked, there are other Americans that have stayed a long time. Craig Conroy being one himself. It's an interesting question of, or do we have people that are just, and I'm not putting words in anyone's mouth, do we have anyone here that's selling out for the security?
Well, I think we've seen it in almost all these markets too, Frank. Like Brady Tkachuk committing to an Ottawa Senators team before an ownership change, when the outlook for a new rink was grim. Cole Caulfield's locked in Montreal. Connor Hellebuck just re-upped in Winnipeg, despite an offseason where everyone thinks he's going to leave. JT Miller's re-upped in Vancouver. I just feel like all these guys looked around and said, this is my best chance to get paid.
Yeah.
And this whole cap going up, well, how's the attendance looking? And how many teams are going to be capped out immediately anyway because of built-in raises for next year? Like, maybe we just take the bird in the hand.
Which is fine, but you better acknowledge that fact then and say, hey, I just told this team 3, 4, or 5 months ago that this wasn't the place I wanted to live.
And that's kind of a shitty spot to be in, right? When you're a team and a player re-engages in contract talks, you have to kind of look sideways. What's your motivation here? Why?
Yeah, who did you
where ordinarily you would be great. We want you to stay. Let's get something done. Here you have to kind of question. So what is it that you're really wanting to do?
Well, and here's the other part of it though. Like, let's now bake in the spot that this team is at. I'd been saying, as great as the idea of getting Elias Lindholm, and especially as good as he's looked to start this year, you want to try and keep him. But what happens if things go sideways? What happens if we get to January and the Flames are 17-23?
Honestly, we've been saying the worst case scenario for this team all summer. We said it is that they're right on the cusp of a playoff spot at the deadline. If they were just clearly not good enough, it makes things really easy if you haven't locked all these guys into long-term extensions. Because if you put a Lindholm and a Hanifin on the market at the deadline, you're getting a pile of assets, whether that's picks or young players, you pick. But locking into both those guys before you're good or not seems really, really fraught with risk.
And so then why do it right now, 6 games into the year?
That's the question. Because as the report said this morning, Elliott had said, quote, it would be surprising at this point if it didn't happen. That's really strong.
It's very strong. I was surprised to see it, the about face of what came from June. It's a big, stark difference. And I would want to see more from my team before going about and making sure everyone's nice and comfortable.
Yeah. Like maybe these guys are just saying, look, I'm going to get more here and it's about money. That I don't know that helps.
I don't begrudge any player ever doing that or getting it.
No.
Just from a pure team building perspective, I'd want to see the first quarter of the season before I did anything else.
Yeah. Like if he's going to get Devin Taves money, great. The problem is Devin Taves is a way better defenseman than Noah Hanifin. Like by all measures.
Yeah. Devon Taves is a multi-time 50-point scorer.
Yeah.
That defends as well as he plays offense.
And he gets 7 times 7 1/4. So if Noah can get that here, now I understand why he wants to stay a little more. Because he's getting overpaid, and the team isn't valuing him properly.
Somewhere between Mackenzie Weegar and Devon Taves.
It's just hilarious that all of these UFAs, and it was like, so what are you going to get for them? You've traded Toffoli, you've signed Backlund, now you might sign Hanifin. This is not how I saw this going. And again, I like Noah Hanifin. I'm fine with him staying. But again, like you say,
the context of it all. Yeah.
It's just everything else with it.
Well, and the other thing Frank kept saying to us this summer is like, look, like you're just not going to be bad enough to bottom out here with these guys. Well, I'll tell you what, if Kadri is going to look like this and Huberdeau's going to look like this, and you do sell, let's say, a Markstrom, a Hanifin, a Lindholm, I think you could get bad enough. I didn't really believe that this summer. And it's very early, and this still might be a playoff team, but
oh my God, the sky is falling in Calgary.
No, but there's no game breakers, Frank. Like they've gotten great goaltending from Markstrom, and they have 2 wins, and one of them was gift wrap from Buffalo, and the other they got outplayed. Maybe they beat the Rangers and they're 500. Great. but the notion that they can't be bad. I just watched them lose to 5 non-playoff teams.
It's what you said, Frank, about the Islanders. They are the Islanders of the West.
But they don't play as well defensively, and they don't have the Vezina guy necessarily.
So say they tighten it up, and they even do. They're going to get into the playoffs. And what's their hope for moving? Okay, you made it.
You got a chair. Now you need 9:30 goaltending, and other than that, it's not happening.
And that's the scariest part is the Islanders might actually get 9:30 goaltending, and they might get in, and that's a big difference between, you go from Sorokin to Markstrom, who's entering his mid-30s.
Before we let you go, just a question for you. If we can go, Jack, if we can go to the full shot on Frank.
Please don't.
On Frank's set there. We were just curious last week. We saw it. Now, your Crown Royal bottle, have you got a slow leak?
Yeah.
Going there? Because Ryan has one, and I have one, and Rhett has one.
I had to go like this.
We just kind of, it's not a...
So you were watching that Detroit game yesterday too then, Frank?
Yep.
Missing some schnapps out of the crock pot there. Oh, here we...
Getting ready for the game.
Yeah, go Phils.
Ooh.
Fresh, eh?
Let's go.
That's a way to start a Monday.
Yeah, buddy. Go Phillies.
We'll
go
talk
Crown
to you next
Royal.
Week when the Flames are over 500, Frank. Let's have fun.
Live generously.
Does that fit inside your shirt pocket with you and Pops when you go to the game tonight? Can you just...
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think that's probably a no-go.
Yeah, well, you'll figure it out. What's that? What was the Everclear? What's that called?
Rumpelmans.
Yeah,
it's actually grain alcohol with a hint of mouthwash flavor, so it's good. It's really
delicious.
Good. I mean, what's better than that? You get a shot and some fresh breath on your way into the game.
I mean, Crown would be better, but okay.
Yeah, beautiful. Thanks, Frank. We'll catch up with you next week, buddy.
See you guys.
There you go. Frank Seravalli, our NHL insider, joining us on the Insider Hotline. At TELUS, they're using their world-leading technology to drive meaningful change, from transforming healthcare and making the food supply more sustainable to reducing our environmental footprint. The most giving company in the world. In 2022 alone, TELUS, their team members and retirees volunteered 1.4 million hours and gave $125 million to local communities. Learn more at telus.com/givesback. Rumpelmans.
I feel like Frank gets disappointed in us.
Well, here's the thing. The mood is never a joyous one when he comes on here. We're never celebrating something terrific or some huge victory. It seems like, Frank, you said this.
The last year, maybe the first week we had him on, they were, what a great start. And then they lost one game to the Oilers and everything went in the shitter.
I wouldn't want to come on here either. I don't want to come on, and I'm here every bloody day.
That's your job. You don't want to come on. Fuck, you're getting paid to show up. You don't want to come on.
Rangers tomorrow, eh? Oh, great. Christ.
Yeah, and if they're going to be the Flames, they'll suddenly somehow play well against the Rangers. I mean, it's just, it still feels like a very, very 7-10 in the West, 6-9 in the West type team.
And I see some people in the chat, and that's fine. You guys are overreacting, and we might be overreacting. But here's the thing. What would be is it boy who cried wolf? It's just, we're not going to be fooled as easily, or we're not going to be convinced as easily, because we've been watching this same drama unfold year after year.
What are you hanging your hat on? Okay, so call it overreacting, but what are you hanging your hat on?
Aside from the fact that it's early, that they've only played 6 games. That's the only thing.
Well, Markstrom too, but the problem is Markstrom's giving you good goaltending, and you haven't won.
Even with that much improved Markstrom,
yeah,
you still went 1-3-1 on a road trip against teams that don't even say that you should have beaten, as you've said, Ryan, that were non-playoff teams a year ago.
Yeah, and you're a non-playoff team from last year, but you want to be one. So there's a chance to measure yourself against the rest of that field. Teams that missed, that said, we're going to be better, we got to get in. The results aren't good.
No bueno. Not good.
What's good? So congrats on their win tomorrow night against the Rangers.
Yeah, that's right. What I want to do now, we talked about Crown Royal, and Crown Royal, we you know them, you love them. It's Crown Royal season here in Calgary. It's a little chilly,
isn't it? Snow
is falling. It's definitely Crown Royal season. Crown Royal, the generous guy. That's kind of the promo that they've got going right now. Be generous, right? Look for who's out there doing good things. They deserve a little bit of Crown Royal in their life. How about this one here?
Okay.
This is our buddy, Matt Stajan. We had him on the show this summer. And, good guy. Hey, Retro.
From all accounts, and everyone you talk
to. From all accounts. There is his wife, Katie, and their 2 boys. And this is the Emerson Stajan Infant Transition Room. The Stajans have raised a lot of money over the years with their own endeavors, and they hooked up with the Flames Foundation. This room is going to be available. I believe it's at Foothills for newborn children that maybe you just need a little pocket, a little area in the hospital where you need some private time, some alone time, because of course Emerson Stajan was their young boy, newborn, that passed away in the hospital the day of his birth, and they continue to keep his spirit alive. And look at the 2 boys. Look at this happy family. You gotta love it. There they are in the room. Look at old Matty. He's good people, Rhett. He's a generous guy.
Makes you a little bit teary-eyed, actually. So,
isn't that for them? How wonderful it is to have that healthy family and still do everything they can to keep Emerson's spirit alive. That is awesome. And for not for the 2 young boys, of course, but for Matt and Katie, little Crown Royal. Generous guys right there. Generosity lives in the small things. Doesn't need money or an audience or even acknowledgement. It just needs a few good people. Crown Royal, crown everything. And Pinder was away for all that, but it's all right. Just know that it's a good thing.
Great human. And I had to tinkle.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
I thought maybe your internet was shit, because is he glitchy for you, Rhett? He looks glitchy to me.
Move, Pinder. It's worse than that.
Yeah, he's locked right tight.
Jack Attack, what's going on?
Your camera's completely out of focus.
It's out of focus.
And your internet's shit.
Is Jack back in studio yet? Pinder can't take care of himself.
I am here.
Well, Jackie Shivers is back. He wasn't here. Everything worked great. Don't blame me.
Jackie Shivers, yeah. Because of course now it's time to do the Pinder Report, but I'm kind of worried.
Let's give it a go.
Because I have nothing prepared if you crap out or need a tinkle.
Epic Pinder Report we've been hearing about.
Village Honda. How's Anthony doing?
Oh, he's jacked.
Hey?
I got to ask if he's going to Hamilton next weekend.
I think Anthony's got a lot on his plate right now. Good old Anthony up at Village Honda, Northwest Auto Mall, and online at villagehonda.com. New in-stock inventory arriving daily. More on the ground as we speak. Start your automotive adventures at Village Honda. New vehicle pricing is MSRP, which means more stinking Ryan Pinder. It's time for the Pinder Report.
Fellas, we'll start with yesterday's matinee against the Wings. Why would I tell you about it when Rhett and Boom could? Here's a clip from Afterburner.
Problem. This is no longer I'm not playing on the right wing. This isn't the coach doesn't like me. This isn't I'm new to town. It's 6 games in. I want to try and be fair, but these are mistakes and things that you should not be seeing. Take the cap hit away. This guy's a veteran. He's a veteran who has led teams in scoring. He's got offense in his game. I don't know what we're watching.
Well, we just mentioned another veteran guy, and you don't for Detroit, Perron. Play as good as him. I don't care about the contract. Play as good as him. Like, it's there's issues to come with this. I just believe that's starting to build up.
That is the fellas from last night. 1/14 of the season is in the books, and it's not been overwhelming for the fellas, has it?
These shows we've been doing are just real.
Well, it's supposed to be all positive and wins, and we're having fun and love each other. The team's good.
I like spring training better, or preseason, whatever you call it. Everyone was in great spirits. No one had lost a game that mattered. That was way funner.
Yeah, training and back home, working out back home. Life was good for everybody.
Yeah.
How many games do they play?
82. So I don't want you to do boomer math live on the air, but safe to say there's lots left.
A few more to go. They're going to turn it around.
114th, like I was saying, around that. That's how much they
Come on, boys, turn it around, eh?
Yeah, start with a big W for red zone hockey. Let's go.
Let's
Rangers.
go.
Shesterkin always soils his trunks against
terrible in Calgary. Terrible.
Yeah.
You had talked about Huberdeau not looking good. Well, what about the data, Dean? I mean, look, that's just the eye test.
Yeah.
Humans have biases. Let's
my
go
eyes,
look at the
I can't
data.
see shit, right?
Well, all you want to see is the
see?
bottom of the screen. The further left you go, the more you hurt the team. And there is Dube, Kadri, and Huberdeau. Clearly their worst line. Defensive black holes, no offense, and yeah, yikes. Clearly their worst line and 2 of their top 2 paid forwards. Not a great sign, fellas.
Dube will bring anybody down, though.
Yeah, it's just too happy.
It's a lot
to good shape.
Now, again, Huberdeau had a goal waved off because Kadri bumped the goal.
Don't care.
But if
Does
you do
change
take
how you
that
feel
away,
about his game?
13 minutes, 38 seconds of ice, -4, 0 shots on net.
Oh. So maybe you could give him the 1, I guess. Here's the road trip. I was sitting at a pub instead of watching my kids power skate yesterday and ran through some of the data. That's what good parents do. You got to stay away. Don't overparent.
Beef dip or anything to go with?
Just a couple of road trips. 5 non-playoff teams.
Yeah.
Blown leads in 2 of the 5 games. Scored more than 2 goals just once. Their best players by salary look like their worst players. D-zone's no good. Penalty kill and Markstrom. Oh, and the power play is only 10.5% on the trip too. Tough roadie. That doesn't mean everything's going to be awful. It just means it's a bad bleeping road trip.
Let's go, boys. Turn it around.
Let's
Lots
go.
of room for upside.
Lots of room.
Go. And you know what? Let's go sign one of these guys to a big extension. Here's the news on Noah Hanifin. Elliot Friedman saying, quote, "It would be a surprise at this point if it doesn't happen." Keep looking for more updated information there. I know Pike's got a mailbag. He also had that from his Saturday notes. They updated that this morning on Elliot's podcast. It sounds very close, which is a little concerning.
Which is too bad because on the surface, sign Noah Hanifin.
Well, let's break this down.
5-year plan, though, right? This is where Rhett and I are going to go.
Let's break this down.
Right?
If he gets signed, is it the worst thing?
No.
Probably a movable asset at some point.
Unless it's a huge overpay, which you hope it isn't. Yeah, I'd agree with
Or
that. It's not like he's 30 or 32.
So I was thinking about this yesterday after they shit the bed again.
Right with you, boys. We're right there.
You
Big
do
game
have
tomorrow.
to when they if they miss the playoffs this year and they sell a bunch of stuff, you still have to have a team next year, right?
Yes. I looked. You'll love this, Red. Guess how many defensemen? Sorry, go ahead, Red.
Just let Red finish. Yeah.
No, well, that's kind of what I'm getting at. And Noah Hanifin has played a bunch of hockey, is still quite young, eats up a bunch of minutes. He is not a concern, in my opinion.
No.
Because you would be coming back with Hanifin, Anderson, and Uyghur.
Yes. So you would have a very solid decor for a few years to come. The only downside is what assets were available.
Yes, that is your opportunity cost. It's not, hey, what would it pay to get a guy like him? It's no. What young talent could we get for him? That's what Connie has to be measuring here.
They're a Cale Makar, or maybe not Cale Makar, but someone, you know what I mean? Like, is there a DeBrincat?
And remember, he just went through a summer essentially fielding Hanifin offers before the draft, at the draft, after the draft, all summer long. And there was nothing that I don't want to put words in his mouth. There was nothing that was close.
Yeah.
Teams were positioning themselves as, they were capped out or didn't have a need or, hey, we'll help you out because you have so many UFAs. We'll throw you a third and a fifth.
Yeah. No one. Yeah.
Everybody was and new GM. Let's see if we can take him to the cleaners.
No,
it was undercutting. There was nothing close.
So that's why you sign him.
Or that's why you go to the deadline when teams can't play, I'm going to call your bluff. No, you either get the guy or you don't. It's the deadline and you need a top 4 D man. Mm-hmm. That's where his value is the highest. It's always been the highest for players at the trade deadline.
It's difficult, though. It's an interesting point you make, Rhett, because from where I sit, I find it nearly impossible to view any of it without the Kadri Huberdeau shielding my vision.
I think if you just sit in Conray's shoes and Dave Nona's shoes, they have thought this through and they've spent many hours. I think they're resigned to the fact that they've got these guys. Like there is no plan. Even in a rebuild situation, those guys are here. Under what
those two, yeah.
Under what scenario are you moving those guys? If you pay half,
not even. Which GM's going to hang their nuts on that term on either?
It's
of those
not worth
guys?
it, right?
No.
So you can put together, make these plans, and think you're going to be better this year, and pray and keep your fingers crossed that those guys start producing, which would be great. But I think deep down in the back of their minds, or in other scenarios, they've mapped it out where they're here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those are immovable objects.
We've got these contracts for the next 8 years, 6, 8, whatever it is, and that's it's spent.
It's kind of like me with the gout. I just have to. I've come to the realization I'm just gonna have to live with this. Like, I can't get around anymore. I can't leave the house. It's debilitating. It's painful. I can't sleep. Like, I'm just going to have to live with this. So what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Hubert Kadri. Same thing.
Gout.
A lot of positivity there, fellas.
Flames have gout.
Okay,
they've got debilitating gout.
You can keep Hanifin because he's a fine asset.
That's right.
Guess how many players are under contract in the NHL and American League that are defensemen for the Flames next year? The entire system.
4.
3. Is that not insane?
That's crazy.
That's a great spot to be in. Options.
I mean, if you want to be bad, it's an amazing spot to be in. If you're trying to be competitive next year, it's a nightmare. And
you're not
making
this all any better,
Yeah, and so negative. I guess the context of that is that you are going to need players, and Hanifin's not a bad one, and he isn't as old as any of the other guys we're talking about. And he's going to age well because he skates well. That's the strongest correlation to not looking like shit right away when you turn 30. So I don't mind it in that sense, but God damn it, what's the pile of assets look like at the deadline for this guy? Wow. You saw Hampus Lindholm go for like a first and 2 seconds. How different is he? Like a little more offense, little less ice time.
Do we have rose-colored glasses with Hanifin?
I mean, he's a 2-3 in my world, and I think those guys get nice returns at the deadline.
Is that Mel McDaniel? Who sings rose-colored glasses? I'll Google it.
Fellas, we're being so negative. We're not talking about the Abbotsford Heat, Adirondack Flames, Stockton Heat, Calgary Wranglers enough. That's what we're not doing, okay? Because look at the start Connor Zeri's off to. You want to talk about a flush system of prospects. 8 assists in 4 games for Zari or Zeri. You tell us how you want us to say it. Keep playing like that. You'll be here soon, son.
Yeah, you put up those kind of points. We'll say however you want us to say it.
That's right. Love that.
John Conley, Brett. John Conley.
So not Mel McDaniel?
Not Mel McDaniel. That's his baby's got my blue jeans on. Her baby's got her blue jeans on. Down on the corner by the traffic light.
Are you sure?
Everybody's looking as she goes by.
I know the song, but I'm not sure it's Mel McDaniel.
Watch until she's gone. It's
not
boom. Lord have mercy, baby's got her. Shut up, blue jeans on. It's Mel
Nobody
McDaniel.
wants to hear you sing.
That's incorrect. Lots of people want to hear him sing, right? Including Dean. It's the only thing that makes him happy.
Oh, Lord, it's hard to be humble.
Oh, Lord, that's TJ Shepard.
Is there a female cover of that one?
I think you're out to lunch on these names.
I just like
the guy literally was a disc jockey when such a job existed.
Okay, so what do you want to know? Which one?
Oh, Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way.
Okay, just wait.
Can't wait to look in the mirror.
Shit.
Each day.
Who did I say TG shit? Mac Davis.
Mac Davis. I knew it was an M.
What does TG Shepard sing? God damn it.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Come on.
Ryan, would you please keep going with this thing? It's so
great news
so
in Edmonton,
today.
fellas. Only 2 years left on the Draisaitl McDavid current contracts, and now 1 to 2 weeks for the best player in the history of hockey. He'll be absent. That may slow down the steaming hot start of the Oilers that has 1 win in their first 5 games. He appears to be on track to miss the Winter Classic.
I'll be back.
War is hell on the home front too, right? That's the one that TG shit. I knew it was some kind of a quirky.
War is hell on.
War is hell when the men have gone on to war to fight in the military guys. It's hard for the ladies, the wives who have been left at home. War is hell on the home front too. God only knows what a woman goes through.
Thank you for that, Dean. Here we got some video of Leon Draisaitl hearing this news about Connor McDavid being out. Let's have a look here. What have we got going on?
That's not the video I thought we were going to have.
Oh, Leon.
Where's he going?
He's pissy.
Well, at least Evander Kane didn't have some snipes at the coach at the intermission on Saturday.
Yeah.
Another loss there. They blew a 2-0 lead. If only we could take some pleasure. If the Flames are going to be god-awful, please just have the Oilers screw up one more year of two of the greatest players in their prime. Please, 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 please.
Yeah, Evander Kane, he said, well, I wasn't getting much playing time, so I figured I'd just go out and fight.
And then sit in the box for 7 or 8 minutes. Toss the bucket off. Do you see that tilt, Rhett?
And we've already got an F-bomb. You mentioned it last week. Already an F-bomb from the coach.
F-sharp from McClellan as well. Or not McClellan, excuse me. Jay Woodcroft.
Is that who we fought?
Brendan Dillon, former teammates in San Jose.
Brendan Dillon.
Remember when Evander was not with the team and then was going to be brought back, and the whole Sharks room said, "We're good. Just don't bring him back in. I know he's allowed to play now. We don't want him in this room."
Patrick Kane. Yeah, we'd love to have him. Oh wait, what?
Evander? No. We thought he was gone forever. Please don't ever bring him back. Okay. You're going to love this, Rhett. How hard are the equipment guys working in the NHL? Hardest working guys in the whole organization, equipment guys?
100%.
Massive hours. Get in at 2 a.m., hang up wet gear, go to bed, get back up, back at the rink at 5 a.m. You love to see them getting an apple. Here it is. Yeah.
I love that they cheered him. That's awesome.
Well, because he's quick too, right? Stick breaks. Sweet Pete Baru for the Abbotsford Heat. And he's now with the Calgary Heats, right? So, Sweet Pete.
Love the Heat.
Tip of the cap to you, fellas. Okay, we'll move along. Anze Kopitar just set the new record for most games played by an LA King.
Washed.
The ageless wonder. Past his prime or not. We shall see. He's so young. His kid, watch. He's reading the opening lineup. It's pretty cool.
Hi.
Okay, Jacob's going to start us off with the starters, and then we'll talk about their lineup. So go ahead and do your thing, bud.
In goal, number 39, Cam Talbot. On defense, number 44, Mikey Anderson. Number 8, Drew Doughty. Forwards, number 55, Quentin Byfield. Number 9, Adrian Campe.
Yeah.
And my dad, number 11, Anze Kopitar.
There it is. He's got one of those homemade jerseys on too with the 11 and the. That's pretty cool when you can play that late into your career that your kid can come in. What is he, like 5 to 8 there? That's pretty sweet.
16.
Well, just have a kid when you're 18. It's not that hard to do.
Making the NHL and having a kid when you're 18, those are things many of us can never even dream about.
It's not that hard, Ryan.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, just play like 1,500
formula
games,
down.
have a kid when you're 18. You can do that, right? What's so hard about that? You can't be a first ballot Hall of Famer? Come on, work a little harder. Not that hard. Calgary's own Logan O'Connor having a start to the season, fellas. A fight.
Attaboy, Logan.
A shorty. He had shorthanded goals 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
You know anything better than that? You know anything better than that? How about 3 games in a row? Office there, they've go hire those guys. They've been really, really good at everything. Remember when they peeled off Devon Taves for 2 seconds? Jeez.
Yeah, what the hell were we doing? We got Hamonic.
For more than that, a first in 2 seconds for Hamonic. We got the wrong order. Oh, and they got Noah Dobson in that swap, who's still playing and not washed. Okay. Did Hamonic play in the bubble? No, he didn't. Okay. Monday night game. Look at this huge slate we got tonight. Whew. Buckle up, fellas. It is Buffalo against Montreal. That's it.
You don't go up against Monday Night Football. That's
No.
Gary. That's smart.
And they're unveiling something pretty special tomorrow. All 32 teams will be playing tomorrow. Going to be fun. Weird start times all day. Staggered games. So to make that happen, it's got to be a light slate tonight. I'm okay with it, Dino.
I'm okay with it. I probably won't watch any of the ones tomorrow, but good. Good job,
You're
here.
not going to watch the Flames tomorrow?
Excellent.
I'll probably watch the Flames. Yeah.
You're doing Afterburner with me at the Grey Eagle, so you better be watching that one.
This goddamn post-game show.
All right.
Worst idea ever.
Major League Baseball, we got some action tonight, Dino. 2 games. I don't want to tell you the series scores and get you all hot, but it is a do and die game 7 for the Astros and Rangers in Houston. The road team 6-0 in this series. The Rangers, they haven't lost a road game all postseason. Whew. Pretty good. Winning Baltimore.
Who's pitching?
Who's pitching?
Scherzer.
Scherzer. The other matchup has Frank and his dad getting tanked in the parking lot.
Love it.
Before they head in to watch the Phillies wrap things up against the D-backs.
Do you think they got all the empties and stuff picked up from the parking lot from the Eagles game last night?
Well,
just bringing like a snow plow or something to clean up all the shit.
They got deposits on those, so people grab them and take them in for money. The monies. Max Scherzer, Christian Javier. That's your matchup in the Battle of Texas. And the other one we'll see Merrill Kelly against Aaron Nola, who's quite good at pitching baseballs.
Come on, Scherzer. I read something this morning when the Nationals beat the Astros. It was Scherzer in the must-win situation for the Nats back then.
Cool.
So he has experience in this sort of a scenario.
Congrats to Tommy and the Cavs. They did it, boys. They're going to the final. Second Pacific. 2-1, your final. Couple pretty goals. They got to an early lead. Good-looking crowd out there on Saturday, and now there's no more home games. Not until Messi comes in the winter, Dean. They're off to Hamilton. Let's go. Forge, Calgary, the greatest rivalry in the history of this 5-year league, continually almost straight from the first game of the season.
How come the game's there? How come they get home pitch?
Because they beat Calgary at home 2 weeks ago. Remember that one?
Shit.
Yeah, I know. We could have had that shortcut to the final. Instead, had to play Pacific. Now you're on the road, but that's all right.
Don't matter.
They don't want it the easy way. Who's got it better than us, Dean? Huh? Just how we
got
like it.
Right where we want them. Let's go.
How we like it.
It's just how we like it.
That's right. Saturday. There's watch parties at Kildare's Ale House and the Ship and Anchor. Do I need another excuse to go to the Ship, Dean?
No.
You don't, but there it is.
Let's go, fellas. Bring home some hardware.
Kids hockey.
Yeah, we'll move that practice. Stampeders got in, fellas. Nothing like a 6-11 team getting in. CFL playoff football.
Good job, Dave. Got a boy.
There you go, Dave.
Good job, Dave.
It's not how you start. It's how you finish.
Nothing matters till Labor Day.
No,
or
nothing
Thanksgiving.
at all. Or American Thanksgiving even. Let's go, fellas.
It's good that there's still a month or so left this season.
Yeah, they got a meaningless game this week on the road against Winnipeg, I believe. And I don't know if they've called you yet. If you got any 306 numbers showing up on your phone, Rhett, they're going to clean house in Regina Land. It is, oof. Not pretty.
happy.
People of Saskatchewan won't come out and support your team. You've done something drastically bad.
When you've been chased from behind by a 6-win club, people will get fired in an 18-game season, no less. Hey, Zeus.
We laugh because we care.
We laugh because we care. And you know what? Who gives a shit what you look like in July?
To get in.
The trophy's
Chip in
handed
a
out.
chair, Dave.
The
Chip in a
trophy's
chair.
handed out when the weather's good in Canada. Late November. Let's go.
Dave's brother in Saskatchewan, though, not as ideal.
Sorry for you, Dave. Your brother. Send his condolences.
Yeah, now you can come to Calgary.
He's a good guy, though. Come to Calgary, yeah.
Fellas, saw this, thought of you. Hope that leaves you feeling loved today. This is some sort of a hot dog thingy. And it's got beautiful music.
I like hot dogs.
Oh, I saw this.
So it's like a Hot Wheels track.
Oh, you need that with your gout.
You got to change your diet, Dino, for this goat. I'm telling you, it's the only way you're going to beat it.
Looks like you. Who's loading the dogs, though? That's
good work. Right from the beginning, Jack. Look at this. This is just great stuff. Talk about, humanity and mankind. And you always say the aliens look down at us. They
aliens
see this.
are looking
They're
down. I'm
intimidated.
telling you.
They're looking down. We don't want to go near these geniuses. Look at this shit.
Do we know this is real? Is this AI?
Everything in the Pinder Report is now.
And dude can't get out of the lawn chair to take the black. Like you're
He
burning.
just raises the glass.
Dude.
I love it. He just raises the glass, the beer bottle. Just awesome. Yes, we're doing this.
Score.
It's beautiful.
Yep, we're stupid.
It gets more beautiful, fellas, because there's more food, and it's food that helps you avoid taxes. There's a restaurant in Toronto that switched all their menu items to office supplies. Let's have a little perusal through the menu, Dean. This is genius. You can expense them. What's on the menu? There's a mini dry erase whiteboard. That's a burger, $11. Wired earphones with mic, $12.50. That's another burger. USB wired mouse. That just looks like French fries. Thunderbolt to HDMI adapter. Those are soft drinks. And what else have we got here? Delicious. Oh, ergonomic aluminum laptop stand.
Why did you buy Why did you buy 4 steel staplers on Tuesday?
Oh, I was really hungry. I mean, we had a jam. This is genius.
How many silicone keyboard covers do you need?
We've had a big problem. There's some sort of silicone eating rat in the studio.
Yeah. Somebody's been rifling them out the back, stealing them.
Is that not amazing? I like it. That makes me happy. Almost as happy as seeing bad things happen to people that do the wave. Let's go to Edmonton. We're in a 2-2. Oh, no, we'll start in Arizona. Look at this. Diamondbacks fans doing the wave. This series is over. That's Jeff Passan. Real Muto, 2-run shot. Less than a minute later, after the wave started, an appropriate response. Phillies 6, Diamondbacks 1. Beautiful.
Wow.
But that's just a one-off, Dean. It couldn't actually happen twice on the weekend where the wave cursed the team. Fans at Edmonton doing the wave with 5 minutes left in a 2-2 game, and that moment was the last shift Connor McDavid will see for weeks. Keep waving it up, folks. Hope you're having fun.
You hate the wave.
It's great when it's not a close game. But if there's something important happening, you did purchase a ticket to a sporting event.
Da 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 da.
NFL Sunday, Rhett. Shoveler got this video. This is you and Rob Ray down to the basement, down to the man cave. Let's have a look. Got a lot of grub here set up for the weekend. Oh,
I got it on video.
she's so mean. Listen to the shoveler cackle at you.
Overfilled it. Just light.
It looks like you clipped the post on the
It looked like you clipped
there.
the top of the banister. Yeah.
Yeah, the banister got you. Damn it. It was huge.
And then they lost anyway, so it was going to be a shitty day no matter what.
Get to that. They were cursed when I picked them. You were right, Rhett. You were right. We got some snow coming in Calgary, Rhett. I want to keep you abreast of the situation. Yes. I'm looking outside. There's a tree. It's gathering snow on one side. Not the top, a side of it. So that tells me it's windy and snowy. There's your snowfall warning. Snow, heavy at times, expected today and tonight with a total amounting to 10 to 15 centimeters.
Well, that's a nice.
What's just the right amount?
A plus there on.
I think that's the font size that they're talking about there. But yeah. Anyway, this is for all the shovelers out there because, Red, I know the shoveler, she'll be jealous to see people in Calgary letting it rip. And I know last year.
With a lot of people about shoveling today.
That's right. And one of her great disciples we met last year in the winter. This is the Parkdale shoveler, knowing that this snow is coming. Happy birthday, Parkdale shoveler, fueling up with some Costco poutine. This is how you get ready for 15 centimeters of snow. So to all the shovelers out there, get ready, get the gloves and shovel by the door, get your boots out. It's coming.
Got to fill the tank.
Looks
right.
Good. Can't lie.
Does look good, hey? Now, did you buy the drink or did you get a dog? Because, of course, as we all know, the drink comes free with the dog.
These are some of our hardcore listeners, and this was sent in. So I don't know if this is birthday hijinks or carb loading before the shovel, but thank you for loving the barn burner. And
this is the Parkdale shoveler?
This is the Parkdale shoveler. So if you're
happy
Parkdale,
birthday? Yeah, happy birthday.
That's right.
If it's your birthday, happy birthday.
That's right. And good technique on the poutine there. You don't want that ending up on your vest.
Yeah.
Lean
Are you
over your plate.
You sharing that, or is that just for you?
Looks intent. Doesn't look very sherry posture there.
No.
Finally, we told you about a little meeting I had with the grade 3 teacher last week.
Set that prick straight.
Well, that lovely teacher, she didn't tell me there was cameras in the room, and the CBE, it's got to be some, what would you call it? Like some sort of privacy laws here. I'm a little concerned about because apparently this is what one of my kids did. So let's have a listen.
Good afternoon, parents. Good afternoon, boys and girls. Shut the fuck up. Hey.
Oh, Dave.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You need to leave?
No, bitch.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he's out.
Dave's no dummy. Dave knows how to get out of class.
Yeah.
Dave's going places. He doesn't even time for this parent nonsense. I'm out of here.
And that's not the first time Dave has let one loose. No, Dave.
Did you see Rhett loading up that S earlier? He had an S bomb. He loaded up. He hung on the S. Dave is throwing every ounce of that 48-pound body into this F bomb out of the gate. Let's see.
Because it wasn't even a what? Whoa,
No,
hey,
no,
what?
He's ready.
Dave.
Same time.
They instantly know who it is.
Dave has been here before.
No, Dave.
Come on, Dave.
Good afternoon, parents. Good afternoon, boys and girls. Shut the fuck up. Hey.
Not nice.
No, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You need to leave?
No, bitch.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No,
No
not
screen time
nice.
this weekend. Sorry, son.
No, thank you, Dave. No, thank you.
Don't say the B word, Dave.
It feels like a Key and Peele sketch almost. And now, how does that phone call go to the parent?
Well, like I said, we got called in. We had the chat. So
Okay.
we had to talk about it, and Dave is
I
understood.
have a feeling Dave maybe comes by it honestly.
Certain times and
Yes,
places
hello,
for that language, and the
Mr.
teacher
Monitored moving forward.
Mr. Terwilliger, Dave was removed from class today for an F-bomb. Well, what the fuck did he say?
apparently someone in the chat saying that's actually Evander Kane that was talking to Woodcroft after the game.
Oh, is that what Daryl? Yeah, okay, maybe.
Can we get Dave in to yell at Hubert O'Donnell, fellas? That's your Pinder Report.
Brought to you by Village Honda. Huge selection of used / pre-owned vehicles, all makes, all models, all budgets. Over 70 units on site, access to more than 400 more in the dealer group. Make Village Honda your one-stop automotive destination in Calgary. They are worth the trip. Village Honda, your dealership for life, presents the Pinder Report. No, Dave.
Love that kid.
How old would Dave? Shut the
front door.
God, you know what? If you were that age and Dave was in your class, you would love Dave.
How's school go today? You wouldn't believe what
You
Dave
should have
did.
seen what Dave did today. It was unbelievable.
Today, Dad.
And the dads would be like, "What did Dave do
She
today?
said,
What
what
did
Dave do today?
What did Dave do?"
And then you'd
Dave
learn
at school
to egg him on. You'd get
Call the teacher
you'd get
what?
Dave going.
Dave, I don't think she heard you.
Good afternoon, boys and girls. Shut the fuck up. Hey.
Hey,
Dave.
Oh, thank you.
Whoa,
No, bitch.
Okay.
Oh,
Dave.
Dave, oh, wait, Dave.
So has Dave done his suspension? Is Dave back after his
No screen
5
time on the weekend for Dave, and
5
short
days?
leash. No candy in his lunch. No recess
I
this week.
feel like Dave got some Dave Chappelle vibes going on.
Yeah.
Forward. We know what.
I'm not worried about Dave. Dave's going places. You hear that passion in his
Yes,
voice?
jail, but he's going places.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Was Dave in
Oh.
class today? No, he's in juvie. It's over for Dave.
Dave finally went too far.
Too and far.
Yeah, Dave slashed the teacher's tires. We're not going to see Dave around these parts for a while.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, you know what'd be funny?
School sure sucks now that Dave's.
Yeah. See, you need Dave.
No one swears anymore since Dave left. Oh, sorry about that.
Let's
A little levity for you there, fellas. It's
Yeah,
better
that's
than
good. I appreciate
yesterday's
that.
Flames.
That is a great clip.
It's so good. Like that's right up there with Terry and the fireworks. Like there's
a few layers to it, right?
Yes.
Like, she is screaming, right? Like what are you yelling for? What is this all about? And Dave's right in the front row. Obviously, she's
ready.
blowing his doors off.
Dave in the front. You got to keep your eye on Dave.
Dave's ready.
And then he doesn't even get the full curse slander out before one of the male.
Dave.
No, oh Jesus, Dave. They are well versed in Dave.
Yes. There's a Dave situation in room 8. We know that.
God damn Dave, God damn it.
Dave.
Talked about this, Dave.
Fuck's sakes, Dave.
Dave didn't choose the thug life. The thug life chose Dave.
No, they did for sure.
Where's Dave hearing those words? I feel like the parents have got to be the most cringe more of anything there. That's
what I'm saying. I
tough
wonder
luck.
What do you expect to get when you phone call the parents to tell them that Dave was swearing in class?
Fence, and it's just been the same language at that house since the children were born.
Daryl wants to know what number Dave wears.
Well, you know what Dave's going to need? Dave's going to need some legal help. Who better than McLeod Law?
Yes, it's not Dave's fault. He just needs good representation.
Dave's going to need to get Dave and Peter Klein are going to be on a first name basis. They're going to need to know. He's the disability insurance claim guy. Peter Klein, he's the personal injury guy. McLeod Law, whatever your legal situation is, if you need legal assistance, you need legal help, then there's only one place to go, and it's McLeod Law. They cover the full gamut. Whatever it is, they will take care of you. They're Calgary born and bred. Calgary roots run deep, big part of their long-standing client relationships. They get our city. They get the people in it. And the way things work, like the communities they serve, McLeod Law team is varied and diverse and share a commitment to making a positive impact on Calgary. Now, we sometimes do This Day in Flames history, that sort of thing, because of their roots. This one isn't necessarily Calgary, but it's one that all Calgarians will know and likely fondly remember. Frank, maybe not so much. Seravalli, maybe not so much. But let's go back to this date, the 23rd of October in 1993.
93.
On Joe Carter's 3-run home run in the bottom of the ninth. You will not find anything more dramatic than what we just witnessed here in this ballpark. On a 2-2 pitch, Joe Carter screamed a line drive home run into the left field bullpen. And the Blue Jays, as Joe Carter is lifted aloft by his teammates, have made the journey all the way back as repeat World Series champions.
There you go.
This year,
Tom Cheek.
The great Tom Cheek. Touch them all, Joe.
Didn't hear his color guy. Tom, what's going on there? You going solo?
When you're a color guy,
gotta know.
You may not know this, Pinder. There is a time to back away and just let it breathe and let it go. Ricky Henderson, Paul Molitor.
Oh, yeah.
Look at young Ed Sprague there.
Alomar. Juan Guzman. Greasy mop. That's coming from me. Boy, Juan.
What was this was the last time I was truly happy.
Yeah, that's the hugger, I think.
That's 93.
I thought when he hugged you, he was happy. He looked really happy when he gave you the hug at Greta there.
Bottom 9, game 6. Jays go back-to-back on this date in 1993. You know, Peter Klein at McLeod Law, he's the personal injury guy, but he's also the go-to guy in Calgary. For your disability insurance claim, your long-term disability insurance company is refusing to pay your insurance benefits. So,
but I've been paying for those, Dean.
I deserve those, Pinder.
I've earned those.
Contact Peter. He'll get you the disability benefits that you paid for, yes, and that you deserve, yes. Your peace of mind. It's great having McLeod Law on your team and on your side. McLeod-law.com is the website. This cannot have gone well for any of us as we look at our Betway point spread picks.
Hey, I'm still hot, baby. I've been making people a lot of money for a few weeks here.
Have you been?
You kidding me? You bet against my picks? You're fucking on
fair enough, yeah.
I feel pretty good about my picks.
Well, you picked 5.
Was it 6 or 5? Yeah.
6. Because you had the Bills.
Well, once I picked the Bills, he got off the Bills.
We'll see
That's
what
the only
Jack,
time in the last 4 years he's never picked the Bills, apparently. even
You
though he did
guys
pick
both
them.
had the Lions and the Bills, and I said, no way, Jose.
So look at this. Jack will back him up. He gets away from the Bills. You had the Giants with Tyrod.
It's
Wow,
our Betway
Ray.
bets from going back to last week. Our Betway point spread picks for Betway. Get the Betway app. Get it on your phone. Play along. Is it, the game's already started? Don't matter. In game. Get there. Get the Betway app and bet the responsible way with our buddies at Betway. So you did pivot away from the Bills. The Giants plus 2.5. They went outright. Arizona, Seattle plus 7.5. It was only so much Josh Dobbs can do, I guess. And then Kansas City, you laid the number 5.5. They win going away. So you go
close.
2 for
Chargers
3.
are brutal. Heard it here first.
Yeah, Chargers. I was reading a
Told
thing
you.
again this morning in the middle of the night that they bring in Kellen Moore. It's going to help the offense. They're going to make some tweaks that they are, in fact, worse pretty much all around. Not
And honestly,
not terribly worse in some. The offensive numbers are kind of the
I
same.
don't hang much on the offense here, Dino. They cannot stop anything on defense.
2 for 3 retro. What was sorry, Jacko, what's his overall record?
10
10 and 8.
10 and 8.
10 and 8, yeah.
And you've screwed me on a few. So.
Not
Hey,
sure that's accurate.
This week, Dean and I are taking 5, and we get to pick the 3 we want. So we're going to catch you, bud. We're going to catch you.
It was a bad week, buddies.
Oh, dear. I
I
cursed
went
you.
goose. I went goose on the week. I like Buffalo. Coming off of an embarrassing loss, they
Don't
lose
like
in
Buffalo
embarrassing
anymore.
fashion again. Detroit. And you know what? After I did this one, I got thinking about it. Why is it with everyone's loving Detroit? No one trusts Baltimore. All of this, this is too straightforward.
It's the public pick. Got crushed.
And it was what, 38-0?
Oh, it was a shellac job. 28 zip
Yeah.
like in the second quarter.
Yeah. So yeah,
Lamar had a day. You
Lam-
tweeted it out early. It was
Lamar
it was clear.
They scored in their first just nonstop. Bing, 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 bing. It was a pinball machine. And then Cleveland and Indy, they went back and forth and back and forth. Not quite -3 for Cleveland.
Deshaun tried to help you, but
Whew. I mean, we can talk
1
about that
for
later in
5
the week or
and
whatever.
a
But
pick and gone.
man,
Woof.
he's a bad human and a bad quarterback.
No. And Pinder's terrible at football.
Oh, please, guys, if you have been listening to us, you go against my picks, you make money. That is 10 in a row. I am on a heater for the ages, baby. Don't ask me how. Just keep betting against me.
Like me, you had the Lions and the Bills XX, and you had the Dolphins to keep within 2.5, and they did not. You fall to 4 and 14. So yes, if you have been going the exact opposite of Pinder, where
You're
are you
welcome.
going on your vacation this winter?
Where aren't you going on your multiple vacations now that you don't have a job anymore?
Wow.
If you tried to pick 10 wrong in a row against the spread, you wouldn't do it in 100 tries. Honestly, it's just like they're coin flips. How do you go 10 heads in a row?
Jackie boy, let's take a look, pal.
No Pittsburgh or Pittsburgh? He did go Pittsburgh and
He
they
did go
covered. Look at that.
We were all in the Lions except for Red, I guess.
Stupid Lions.
You had Vegas
Oof.
minus
they were
2.5.
horrible.
And
Some guy you
Vegas,
never heard of was awesome against them.
they're terrible. Yeah. Bagent or whatever the hell his name is. Tyson Bagent or whatever.
He was pumping up the
yeah.
crowd. Yes.
And yeah, the Steelers, road dogs, get away. Yeah. That's again, some of these trends with Tomlin and the Steelers and all that,
Yeah.
just pay attention to them and you'll be okay.
Off by,
As-
home dogs, all that.
They were a road dog getting 3 and they went outright. So Jack improves to 8 and 10 on the season.
I'll be back on Friday to win you more money. You're welcome.
I just want to find this stat here because there was no real reason. Entering Sunday, only one of Baltimore's 18 possessions over the last 6 quarters ended with a touchdown. 1-18. The Lions, meanwhile, had held their past 4 foes to 14 points per game. So yes, the Ravens and their awful offense against the Lions and their defense was going to end up 38-0 or whatever they ended up. Lions to get some points at the end. You know what it is? We got to change our way of thinking. Well, Rhett, you're doing very well. Don't think about it. The Lions, yeah, +3. Hey, no, they want you to think that way. Don't think that way.
So how do you know which games they want you to think that way?
Whichever one feels that you feel good about. Look at
that. I've been mastered that for 3 weeks. Shit, I could have told you that.
Press record and download so that you can keep listening.
Right, like Pinder, you are right there. Yeah. You're right there. You're just picking the wrong side.
Well, so again, you just go the opposite of me, or I'll give you the wink and I'll pick the opposite of what I actually would have done. Either way,
we don't know what to do with you now. See, now we don't know what to do with you. Are you going to continue this methodology that you've been using, or are you going to try and switch it up, or what are you going to do?
I mean, if I basically go to the exact same process I've been using and then switch the team at the end, I'll just win the next 10 in a row and we're back to 500.
But then we don't know what to do with your bets. See, and you can't wink because some people are listening.
No, you'll see on Friday. It'll be very clear what my plan is here. I remember you a couple of years ago. You're like, boy, I really like Atlanta here. This is a great spot. The offense is looking good. Defense, boy, they've been stout. We're going with Carolina.
That's right.
I mean? Yeah. That's what we're doing. That's what we're going to do this Friday. I really like them, thus picking the other team.
I look forward to Friday.
I do too.
Can't wait for it. We got a decent game tonight. Hey, Monday Nighter?
Yeah, San Fran and McCaffrey's going to play is the latest.
Is he?
So whoever spent $1 billion on all the San Fran backups.
Jordan Mason.
Sure.
Eli Mitchell.
Mason McDonald. You got that and 2 baseball games. Nice little slate.
Yeah. One NHL game, which brings us, of course, to DoorDash. What's on the menu with DoorDash? Our buddies over at DoorDash, they're taking care of you. Can you put in a promo code? Do you know how the promo code works? Nation25, Nation25. Go to the DoorDash app, and for a limited time, our buddies get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter the code Nation25, Nation25. What a deal. Get on board. Let's go with some DoorDash. Pinder, there's some options. What's on the menu?
Honestly,
where are we going?
This is like when you go to a great restaurant, but they have a signature dish, and it's like, sure, the other stuff's sensational, but you don't go away from the signature. The signature is a do or die game 7. We've got that in the Battle of Texas. Houston hosting Texas. This is as good as it gets. We have not had an elimination game for both sides, a do or die game in the MLB postseason yet. We have one tonight. It's a game 7. The winner goes to the World Series. Texas at Houston, 6:03 p.m. Mountain. Slight favorites are the Astros. Got to pop some corn for this, Rhett, and maybe some bacon wrapped corn on the cob while you're watching this from DoorDash.
Bacon corn on the cob.
You get that at some of the barbecue joints in town. I can think of a few off the top of my head.
Don't forget, that's code Nation25 for the 25% off your first order deal with DoorDash. Offer valid in Canada, subject to change. Terms apply. It's DoorDash dash that for the win.
Nation25.
Nation25. I had something. You know me. I like to get on the Kijijis and stuff, right?
The Gij, yeah.
For noodles, he goes and it's infomercials. What did he buy? Steak knives, or what the hell did he buy? He said on the show last week.
Not the pen with the hook in the
the earwax. That's what it was. Yeah, the earwax camera, whatever it was. But I was on the Kijij, and I found this one last week. I should check. Actually, this one I think was on the Facebook Messenger or whatever, the Facebook Marketplace.
I believe it's called.
And Jack, I threw it in there last week. And if you want this, because there's kind of a tie-in for you, I would do the negotiating if you were interested in buying this. It's a poster that's kind of a one-of-a-kind. Congratulations, Calgary Flames, 2004 Stanley Cup champions. And there you could buy your commemorative Coca-Cola can for the 2004 Stanley Cup champions, the Calgary Flames.
Dean.
This guy has the poster. I don't know that he's got the can, but he's got the poster. I can text the guy or email him or
I'm sure it's gone.
see what he wants.
It's probably gone.
Well, I got check for you because you were on that 04. You were on that 04 team. Nice keepsake, I thought maybe. No.
How much?
I'll see what I can get him down to.
This is going great.
I'll do some heavy duty negotiations. Never did see any of those, like the hats or the shirts, because they had to have existed.
Hang up on you if you
always
want
print
to
them.
Oh, jeez.
That'll do it.
Tomorrow's game day. Flames
Can't wait.
back at home. First game back after a road trip, and they'll take on the New York Rangers. So, yes, 7:40, 7:45, somewhere in there will be the start time. A little clunky, but as Pinder said, they're trying a red zone-esque type of a deal. They want to have
Tuesday in October. Makes a lot of
celebratory.
sense.
ESPN, baby.
Yeah, so they're going to do that.
Get
And
that
the Flames
glowing
and
puck.
Rangers.
Let it rip.
All right, I gotta go.
See you, buddy.
Where do you have to go?
I gotta get my kids.
Okay. Me too.
Okay. See you later then.
See you tomorrow, buddies.
Miss anything?
Just a bad way to end. I shouldn't have done the thing, I guess.
I don't think you liked it very much.
Because they won it. Actually, did they win in
Well, I mean, it looked like you kind of went in, but
2004?
I got to go, Dean. This is, it's not working for me here. Good luck the rest of the show.
See you tomorrow, buddies.